Crimson Desert is high fidelity slop. I'll say it again, folks. Crimson Desert is high fidelity slop. Crimson Desert is a very interesting game. I was not interested by it initially, mainly because I'm not a fantasy head. I'm not big on fantasy. I'm not big on dragons and swords. So it didn't capture my attention first of all. But then it did capture my attention. There's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of hype. It did capture my attention eventually. What did make me want to try it out, was I didn't try it out, but make me want to try it out was exploration. The fact that the map is bigger than Red Dead. It's the biggest map in video game history, I think. I think it's record breaking, right? So that's a big deal. That's an accomplishment. Kudos to them. So because it had a mixture of exploration similar to that of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where you just drop there and you could go anywhere, any town, anywhere, take on whatever you want. That's awesome. I love that. That's my favorite part of open world, I love that. So I got interested in it. So then I started, looking at it and seeing reviews and everything. And I was actually excited for Crimson Desert for like about a week up to launch. I was actually very excited. I was just about ready to pre-order it. If I had the extra money, I probably would have pre-ordered it. But because I didn't have, because funds were tight, I waited a little bit. I said, you know what, the pre-order deluxe stuff isn't so enticing. It's like a gold armor plate. I was like, you know what, I could deal without it. And then the pre-order was like a shield. I could go without it. So I said, I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'm gonna check it out. And I'm glad I did, because the closer I got to launch date, the more I started seeing reviews by people that were able to test the game out themselves and play over 100 hours. One of them was IGN, the IGN reviewer. A lot of people have a lot of things to say bad about IGN, saying that they don't play all the games they review, and that's a fair reason to say people are uncredible. Maybe they're just too big. Maybe IGN is way too big now, and they need to review every game, and maybe some reviewers don't play the game thoroughly. That could happen. They're a big company. IGN's big. They can make mistakes. I won't be surprised if they get sloppy. It's a big company. Big companies, they can't tighten all the holes in the ship, or whatever the phrase is. So I was listening to some reviews by people that played the game a long time. Over 100 hours. And the certain things that they were saying were bad about the game are certain things that I don't like about open world games. There's certain things that I'm able to see about open world games, and I'm like, oh, that's annoying, or that's half baked, that's not polished, that's not done well. It's a shallow system. And I started hearing more about the systems in Crimson Desert, and I started not liking what I was hearing. The reason why I say it's slop is because it's great on the surface. It has all the systems, right? It has mining, it has fishing, it has crafting, it has cooking, it has everything. Any system of a game that you could think of right now, top 5 systems that you could think of right now, Crimson Desert has it. Not gonna lie, and that's awesome that it does have it. That's awesome, but that doesn't mean that the systems are good. And that's what makes a game separate from good or bad, right? The marketing for Crimson Desert was it was good marketing. It had a lot of hype, but to be honest, it might be the first major, I'm not gonna say that. It might not be the first major disappointment of the year, but there's all possibilities are endless, right? I have another conclusion. But before I get to that, I'm gonna tell you something that I heard about the review that made me say, oh, you know what, I'm good. I'm not gonna spend $70 on this. Here's one thing: the repetitive cutscenes for your bounties. I saw that you get bounties, right? All the bounties are pretty similar, man. It's like Red Dead Redemption. It's like Red Dead Redemption 1 style. They're all similar. You just go find them. They're all in different locations. You go find them. You beat them up. You hog tie them, and then you turn them in. But here's the part I really didn't like. Every time you turn in a bounty, you get the same cutscene, same dialogue from the guards. In fact, from what I heard from reviewers, that the guards dialogue when you return your first bounty, your first prisoner, their dialogue is something like, "Oh, our cells are gonna be filling up the way you're bringing them in on your first bounty." Like, how they don't even know your character yet, and their dialogue's already making no sense. I don't like that. That's a fallacy to me, man. That's showing that they just wanted to get this game out. It was to me that's a cash grab. I call Crimson Desert. Okay, I call Crimson Desert. It could go two ways because it's alive and it's here, right? So what happens from here is on the developer's hands. It could go two ways. Crimson Desert could either be they could either just be a cash grab, which I kind of think initially kind of seems to me. They're the creators of an MMO called Black Desert Online, and maybe they just wanted to dive into the console world, get some console money by the console players, and they ported over a bunch of systems from that MMO, which doesn't always translate well, especially if you don't flesh it out with multiple dialogue lines, you know? MMOs feel kind of barren. I don't know. MMOs feel barren, but they're so big and so wide, and you spend hours in them that it doesn't matter that there's certain things don't have various dialogue lines. But in a console game, I don't know, because I don't know, man. So I'm thinking Crimson Desert's gonna end up eventually just being seen as a cash grab, or the developer's Black Abyss is a sleeping giant. Maybe they're a sleeping giant. That could happen too. There's a sleeping giant that put out the base structure of the game, and from here on for the next 10 years perhaps, they're probably going to be adding so much to the game to flesh it out. Hopefully it's extra dialogue lines for cutscenes so it's not repeated over and over, but they may very well possible plan Crimson Desert to be a long-term investment when it comes to creating more content, fleshing everything out, making things look better, nicer. I mean, it's a good looking game. It's a good looking game, right? But it needs to be fleshed out. It needs to be fleshed out more. Yes, it's beautiful. It's big. It's expansive. There's so much room in it. But the stuff that's inside of it, I think needs to be a little better. So Crimson Desert, is it a cash grab or is it a long-term investment, a sleeping giant, a sleeping beast of a monster? One of those two. Peace.